Okay, let's go over our answers to the Chapter 3 quiz review. For number 1, make sure you line up the decimals, 1.34 plus 0.58. And then when you add it up, you should get 1.92 if you bring that decimal straight down. And if you think about it, about 1 plus 1 is 2. So that answer makes sense. Or even if you thought 1 plus a half is 1.5, that's close. For number 2, make sure you line up the decimals again. We're adding. So if you think about this, about 14 plus 12, our answer should be close to 26. And when you add and bring the decimal down, that gives you 25.89. Here's 3 and 4. So here we're subtracting. So think 31 take away 30. Our answer should be close to 1. And when you line up the decimals, you have to be sure to borrow here. That's going to give you 1.91. For this one, we're lining up the decimals. We're thinking this is about 71 minus 31. So our answer should be close to 40 right here. You have to borrow a lot. So you borrow from the 1. That makes it a 0. That 10 comes later. So 0, this becomes a 0. This becomes a 10. Then you borrow from the 10, you make it a 9. That becomes a 10. 10 plus 5, or 10 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away 4 is 5. So then you had the 0. So we had to borrow again. The 7 becomes a 6. The 0 became a 10. 10 take away 1 is 9. 6 take away 3 is 3. Here's learning objective B, estimating the product. So when you estimate to the nearest ones, the 6 rounds this 8 up to a 9, and the 8 brings the 2 up to a 3. 9 times 3 is 27. Here, we're rounding to the 10s. So the 9 brings the 3 up, the 30 up to 40. The 5 brings the 20 up to 30. 4 times 3 is 12. And then you pull over these 2 zeros. It makes it 1,200. Number 7 on the back. You set this up, the number with the most digits on the top. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1 is 21. If you want, you could bring the 2 there. 4 times 0 plus 2. You take the decimal out, you put the decimal in. And if you think half of 4 is 2, that works. Let's estimate first here. These ones are kind of weird, the next few, because this is so close to 0. So it's almost like 0 times 19. Your answer should be close to 0, which it is. So what we have going on here is you do the 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 3 is 21. 9 times 0 plus 2 is 2. 9 times 0 is 0. You have the 0 placeholder. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. You add these up. 6, 5, 4, 0, 0. You take the decimal out, you put the decimal in, and you shake it all about. And there you have it. 9's the same way with estimating because it's kind of like 7 times 0. So your answer's close to 0 again. 7.3 I put on top because it has the most non-zero digit numbers. So 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 7 plus 1 is 29. You take the decimal out, you put the decimal in. For this next one, we're thinking this is like half. Half of 4 is about 2. So your answer should be about 2. And if you look here, you could have sawed it up the opposite way. I just kept it the same order. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 4 plus 3 is 27. You could have just put the 27 there, or 6 times 0 plus 2 is 2. Then you have your 0 placeholder. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 plus 1 is 13. 3 times 0 plus 1 is 1. Add them up. 0, 12. 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. And then 1. You take the decimal out. You put the decimal in. All right, now number 11 and 12. 3 steps here on number 11. Pears are 92 cents a pound. Apples are $1.10 a pound. Mr. Green bought 3 pounds of pears, 2.5 pounds of apples. So how much was the total? So you have pears, 92 cents. He bought 3 pounds of that. So he did this 3 times. So when you multiply, you get 2.76. Think 1 times 3 is 3. Our answer is about 3. For the apples, $1.10 times 2.5 pounds. So we're multiplying 5 times 0, 5 times 1, 5 times 1, placeholder, 2 times 0, 2 times 1, and 2 times 1. Add them up, take the decimals out, put the decimals in. So he paid $2.75 for those. So now we need, here's the check, 1 times 2.5. Our answer should be close to 2.5. So when you add these up, the pears plus the apples, that's your total. So the pears, $2.76, $2.75 for the apple. Line up the decimal, bring it straight down. Our answer should be close to 6, 3 plus 3. So it's 5.51. So there's your total. Then in number 12, how much change would he get back if he paid with $10? So we're subtracting $10. You have to annex those 2 zeros there. I'm going to put those in red. $10 take away $5.51. Do you need to borrow again? This 10 becomes a 9. Or the 1 becomes a 0 and this becomes a 10. But then you need to borrow, so it becomes a 9. This becomes a 10, but we need to borrow, so it becomes a 9 for this to be a 10. 10 take away 1, 9 take away 5, 9 take away 5. And that is the quiz review for Chapter 3.